Welcome to another Holistic 3D YouTube tutorial in this beginner's guide to Unity 6 and beyond. Today what we're going to look at is lighting, and you might actually be able to argue that all things of computer games that you see on the screen is about the lighting, and it pretty much is. Hence, lighting is quite a complicated issue. So where do we start? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how to get some simple lights into the scene, and you've already got a light in the scene. If you have a look on the hierarchy, there's a directional light. If you open up the basic URP project, it will come with a directional light. Now we're going to be talking about URP still, that's the Universal Render Pipeline, because once we start changing pipelines and that, for the rendering, then the lighting gets all very complicated, but we'll just stick to the very basics. So what I've got here is the chair that we've looked at recently, and I've built up this little scene with a floor in it, and I've made some walls out of cubes so that you can just see the effects of lighting, and I found a free lamp model on TurboSquid that I've brought in. So feel free to decorate a room however you like with whatever objects you can get a hold of. If you want to create your own very simple lamp, you could use a cube or a sphere or something just in here. So remember, the generic objects in Unity in the hierarchy, you just go right click, 3D objects, and then you can pick one of these objects and move it around. Alright, so let's get started. The first thing that we have in our scene that represents a light is this directional light. And currently this is the only light in the scene. And you can see it is casting shadows for us on the chair and then, on the floor and that. So if you actually double click on that directional light to bring it into your scene view, you can see where it is. And it's nowhere near my scene. If I zoom out, let's see where my scene and my camera, they're all sort of over here. Now, it doesn't matter where the directional light is in your scene. It doesn't matter how you move it. So let's see if I move it like this. Watch the shadows over here in the game view. Doesn't make any difference of its actual location like that. But the important thing about the directional light is the direction in which it is facing. If I rotate this light, then it's going to affect how the shadows go here. You can kind of think of a directional light as the sun. So we usually use it to represent the sun, which is going to basically shine down from somewhere in a particular direction, whereas its location is not important to us. So let's go to the E key to hit this button, which is rotate. You can use that too. And if I rotate it, notice how my shadows are changing, and it looks like the sun is moving across the sky when it does that. So we can use the directional light to represent the sun, okay? And it doesn't matter where it is. Let's have a look at a different type of light. So in my hierarchy, I'm going to right click and I'm going to go down to light, and I'm going to come across to a point light and add that point light in. Now I want that point light to kind of be free of my scene, so I can actually just close that up to make sure it's not connected to it. Now a point light lights up in every direction, and you can kind of think of it like a light bulb essentially, or a light bulb that floats in the middle of the air and doesn't actually have anything holding onto it, and so the rays from it just come out in every which way. So let's go to the camera and we'll just go into our scene. Now I'm going to move that point light into this scene here. So if I select the point light and I go game object and I move to view, it will bring that point light into my scene. And if I hit the W key, I can actually move it out and up just a little bit so that you can see it just there. Now the point light has a certain intensity. If I move this point light over to the wall, and let's just have a look from above so we can actually see where it is in 3D, because it might be nowhere near my scene. Okay, so it's just there. Let me move it down and over here. Now you can actually see the change in the light happening over here. Let me move it back there and up, and if I bring it over near the wall, notice how that wall is now shining, and as it gets right to that point where it's almost touching the wall, you can see that you get that bright spot on the wall. Okay, so now we know where that light is. It's kind of like up here. Now we could actually attach a model to it so we can see where it is. And if we go point light and then 3D object and sphere, we can put the sphere around the point light, and then you'll be able to see exactly where it is. And I might select the R key on that sphere and just make it a little bit smaller. Now, even though the point light is essentially inside of that sphere, it is able to shine out of it. And the reason being is that the point light is inside of that sphere. The exact reason we will get to a little bit later on down the track when we start to discuss materials and surface lighting and those sorts of things. For now, just know that the light inside of something is going to shine straight out and still work in the environment as it should. And because it's right inside that sphere is not going to cast any shadows, which is another thing that's a little bit more technical down the track. Okay, so we have our point light, and over in the inspector we can have a look at the different properties of that point light. So that point light can have a light appearance setting, so such as color, and you can see that it's white in this particular case. So if you wanted to have like a pink light like that, you could just turn it on and it would make it pink, and you can see it there. You also have an intensity that you can turn up to make that a really, really bright light, and then you have a indirect multiplier. Now, indirect multipliers, as you can see here, is not doing very much, if anything at all, because it only comes into effect if you have a directional light, which is like that sun that we looked at before. Okay, so let's have a look under the light appearance. We can actually change the filter and temperature here. Now, if you're familiar with photography, you'll know about the temperature that you can set different lights to, and then you also have a filter color that you can set for different effects. Now, this is getting quite advanced, and I guess you really want to have some very, very special thing in mind in order to go with these. But for now, just stick with color because it's actually much easier and more intuitive to work with. Okay, so I'm going to make this point light into the light bulb that is in this lamp. So let's set the color to something kind of nice and bright, which is kind of a yellowy white color, like that. And then we're going to move it. So I'm going to hit the W key and I'm going to move it over to this lamp and move it across here. Let's get in close to that lamp, and then we can actually not move the lamp but move the light underneath it like that. Now, if we move this light up into the lamp, you can see that that lamp is not casting any shadows. Now, for all intents and purposes, the light that we've got as our point light is not inside of the lamp. As you can see there, it is inside of the sphere. When a light is outside of a model, then you can get it to cast shadows and influence what it's shining on. Now, by default, the shadows will be turned off. If you have a look at your point light in the inspector, there's a little shadows drop down here, and you can see the type of shadows is set to no shadows by default. You can actually change that to hard shadows, and then you can see immediately that you get shadowing from this lamp that's now shining up here onto the wall and beyond. And immediately you've got more light down here as well, where the chair is now getting shaded from the directional light, but also that point light. So if you turn that point light on and off, you can see the different effects that you're getting from it there. Last but not least, you can have a spotlight. Now, you can turn any light into any of these three types, directional, point or spotlight, just by going to the inspector and changing its type. The the type here is point. We can change it to a spotlight. Now, a spotlight is kind of like, I guess, the spotlights you see at the theatre, in which they're sort of directional. Now, this particular spotlight, if we have a move around of this, you can see that the spotlight comes essentially as a cone that gets projected out from the location of the spotlight. Now, by default, this one is actually facing along the Z axis, and we want it to face downwards, so we have to rotate it, and we're going to rotate it around the Y first of all, out like that, and then we can use the X and rotate it down. As you see it come down, you can see that spotlight appear on the floor in my scene. Now, the light is only going to be emitted from that cone. So you can see how it's fitting on the ground there. Now, the chair is possibly not getting much of that cone at all. We can change the spotlight's cone if we go to the shape area in the inspector and actually modify it like this. Okay, so I can actually make it a bigger spotlight, so I do hit the chair, and again you've got the same kind of color and intensity values that you can do, and in addition you've also got your shadows that you can turn on or off. And you might have noticed that you can get hard shadows or you can have soft shadows, which is a little bit more of a natural effect depending on the type of, I guess, the scene that you're trying to render. All right, so that is, in a very quick 10-ish minute tutorial, the lights that are available in Unity. And don't panic, there are a whole bunch of other different lighting effects and things that you can do, but these are the three basics that are available in every different type of render pipeline, and probably the ones that you will use the most because they're most intuitive to use.